Hey Guardians, or should I say Cowboys, because it is Cowboy Month, for GCAS at least. Anyways, today I'm going to be doing a comparison between the last word, first curse, and the Chaperone. Anyways, I've divided into 4 categories. Well, not really 4 per se, you'll understand. Casual PvE, endgame PvP, aka Trials, casual PvP, and endgame PvE. Now, I'm going to be talking about all the different ones and how they really act. Let's start with the Chaperone, shall we? Now, in PvP, casual or endgame, this thing's a blast to use. I just enjoy using it in Trials or any sort of PvP. It's extremely fun to use, and I really enjoy every time I pull it out and just shoot people with it. It's so fun. In casual PvE, it's great. Unfortunately though, in endgame PvP, it's not the best. It is good though for Challenge of Elders due to the cramped spaces and constant rush of enemies though. So, there's that. Unfortunately though, in the raid it's a bit lacking because mainly it just has not much use. Really the only time I will use it is for the beginning of the raid, but even then, I like using the raid shotgun a bit more because it can one-shot doors and not two-shot. Anyways, and all in all, this thing gets a B for casual PvP, an A for Challenge of Elders, a D- for the raid, and it gets a C+ in Trials and a C+ in Strikes, or any casual PvE. So that's the Chaperone, but how does it compare to the other two? Well, let's talk about the last word now. The last word is a fantastic PvP gun. It's honestly amazing to use. It doesn't have too high of a skill bar as long as you're able to compete in the areas that you're good in and that you're able to just use it effectively. The best time to use this is really all the time. Unless you're in a map that's consistently long range, then you might want to pull out a sniper in combination. As you notice, the Chaperone is great for mid-range and long-range. Same with first curse. But last word is great for close range and mid-range. It's terrible anything beyond that. After the nerf, though, of the April update, it's kinda not as good as it once was, mainly because of the damage reduction from hip firing. It's not as powerful as it used to be, and I just can't use it at all in PvE. In PvE, it gets a D- in any sort of activity. Actually, I'm gonna change that to an F-. Yeah, just don't use it in PvE. In PvP though, it gets an A+ across the board. Even with the nerfs, it's still a great gun. I would actually change it down to maybe an A- in Trials because of the nerf, but I'd still love using it in any sort of PvP activity. Lastly, let's look at the first curse, the sibling of the last word. Now, the first curse is kind of an oddball, mainly because it's a PvE workhorse instead of a PvP one. If you took a look at Chaperone and last word, your first thoughts are, wow, these are great for PvP. But first curse just throws that out the window and you're stuck with a PvE gun. In a best case scenario, if you use triple tap and the first curse bonus effectively, then you can get 21 shots in the mag. This pretty much will never happen, but it's pretty cool to know. In Strikes, this thing is great. I love using it, and I probably will always use this in Strikes if I'm wanting to do something fun. In the raid, it's extremely good for something like Oryx or War Priest because it has short bursts of fighting, which you use effectively. It's great. I would not use this in Golgoth or Daughters though, because touch and spin rule those. For War Priest, if you're having Brand, then it's great. It one-shots Acolytes as long as you hit the head. And it's just amazing for the short bursts of fighting. Able to take down the Hollow Knights pretty dang quickly, if I do say so myself. Against Oryx, it's also great. If you don't have a Red Death or Touch, then it's pretty useful for that, and Daughters. In PvP, you can two-shot low armor Guardians as long as you hit 2 headshots. But in endgame, I just wouldn't use this. If you don't get the first headshot, then you're not going to win the gunfight. Simple as that. I know that's the case with most guns in Destiny, but it's with this one the most. If you miss or hit a body shot, you're most likely going to lose the gunfight. For most Guardians, it's a 3-shot to the head, making this have one of the slowest times to kill in the game. In the background, you'll see some just footage of me doing, patrol with the first curse, showing off its abilities and showing how it works. All in all, I'd give this a B- in the raid, an A+ in strikes, and a C in casual PvP, and an F- in, actually not an F-, a D+ in trials. Seriously though, this thing might need a small buff in PvP. The only way to make it good is to make it a 2-shot for all Guardians, but we all know that's never gonna happen. Anyways, I'm Alex for GCAS, and that's the first curse, chaperone, and last word comparison for Cowboy Month.
You see that? If your game, I'm game.